Hey guys, welcome to today's video. This is going to be a quick version, and this is Paint with Lovejoy. Thanks so much for joining. Please subscribe to the channel and share this channel with your community. Like I said earlier, this is going to be a quick version, so if you prefer the full-length, non-time-lapsed version, check out my Patreon page and my Paint with Lovejoy website. If you want to further support Paint with Lovejoy, please do. It all helps. And for more in-depth courses, check out paintwithlovejoy.com. All right, guys, it's going to be a fun painting today. So grab your supplies, transfer your traceable to your surface, and as always, make sure you take your progress photos. Now today's video is going to be the quicker time-lapsed version of this painting. If you would like the real-time with narration, check out my Patreon page and my Paint with Lovejoy website. So we are going to start off with our light blue. And as you can see here, I am making little dots and using the width of my medium flat brush. Now you can use your pointy brush, you can use a larger brush, but kind of the concept of pointillism is to make the same mark over and over and over again. Now you can overlap these marks, these dots, and the closer together that your dots are, the more solid color it makes. And then if there's a little bit more space in between your dots, it allows the background, the canvas, or what's underneath to kind of shine through a little bit more. So just kind of find your comfort zone with making these dots. And as you can notice, I am making my light blue color multiple times, and you can already see a little variation. Sometimes it's a little lighter, sometimes it's a little darker. I encourage you to kind of do the same thing and not make a huge blob of your light blue. Just kind of mix it as you go along, because each time you mix it, even if it's a little bit different, your brain's taking in that information of mixing colors. And as you can see here, even when it gets a little bit darker, I can go over the lighter areas and vice versa. So that way you're just kind of filling up the space and then having that nice kind of variety and hue shift in your background. If you are one of my first time and beginner painters and you're holding your breath right now, please take a big inhale, relax. You're doing a great job. Just the fact that you're taking time out of your day to paint makes you successful already. So you can see that we have filled in a good portion of the background, and then I do want you to take note of these few other sections on the middle of the left-hand side of the canvas, and then kind of in between the tree branches. We can see the sky behind that. And you're just kind of making that light blue, overlapping the dots, applying them, filling in, trying to get rid of, a good portion of all that canvas space, and just kind of having fun. Pointillism is a rather meditative and therapeutic paint application process. So kind of get lost in just making these dots. Now we're switching over to a light yellow, and that is white plus yellow, about equal parts. And we're moving into those clouds. And as we move along in today's painting, as we get to those traceable lines, I am making sure that my dots go right on top of it. And then here you can see where I'm taking some of that yellow and putting it in the background. In the other Seurat, the Paris painting, we talked about the reflective color. So sometimes we do have colors that would be somewhere where we don't expect them, but they're reflecting from the environment. All right, so now we're using that direct yellow, just kind of intensifying. We do start with our light colors and then go a little bit darker. And we'll kind of keep doing that as we work on the clouds in the background. So now adding a touch of orange to that. So getting to a light yellow-orange color, still the exact same mark making. And because you want to kind of keep your marks the same, if you do find that you're starting to get tired and your brush strokes are starting to get kind of sloppy, I want you to take a break, step away from your painting, go do something else for a little bit, and then come back to it. Because you don't want to ruin your painting because you got tired and your mark making started to get sloppy. So just kind of observe where you might be at. And if you are mentally fatigued, take a break. So with this orange, we're again just kind of making our way down the background, filling in the space. We're going to go a little bit darker next and a little darker after that. And again, just kind of changing this white canvas into a really pretty and colorful painting. So now we're adding a little bit of red to our orange. This is getting us to a kind of a nice burnt orange. And going back and filling in that space. If there's a white canvas showing through, I'm making sure that I get a little dot on there and overlapping. And with pointillism, I still encourage you to trust your instincts. So if you're inclined to do something I do not, or put a color somewhere I don't, go ahead and do that. This is your painting and you have full permission to kind of take it in the direction you want to go. So now we're using a light pink, and that is white plus pink. And every now and then, feel free to pause the video and take your progress photo. So with this light pink, same thing, we're overlapping some of the orange areas, some of the yellow areas, and getting these kind of really cool voluminous clouds in the background. All right, doing a great job. Remember to breathe. If your brush is kind of shaky as you're going to apply your paint, that does mean you're holding your breath. So exhale as you touch the brush to the canvas. Like I said earlier, I am so proud that you guys are taking time out of your day to get creative and just do something for you. The process of painting is very therapeutic. So here you can see we've gone up to kind of a medium pink, going just a little bit darker, doing that overlapping effect. And as you go through, especially a pointillism painting, I'm going to encourage you to prop your painting up, get out of your chair, and look at it from a distance of 5 to 10 feet away. And from this distance, we actually visually, our eyes kind of visually blend things together. And we tend to like things better from a distance. So make sure that you check out your painting from that vantage point. So now we're moving into a light purple that is white with a little bit of purple. Same thing, just filling up the space. As you go along today's painting, you are strengthening your power of observation. Feel free to pause the video at any point. Do not paint as fast as the video, because like I said, this is a time-lapsed version. But just kind of strengthen your power of observation, and you can observe my video, or you can pull up the original painting by Seurat and follow that and go by what you see. But in the art world, the power of your observation and strengthening that and getting more in touch with it is really kind of what art is about, no matter what medium you are using. And you will notice that as you're more observant in your painting and creative endeavors, you'll be more observant in other areas of your life too. So they do kind of blend over. All right, so now we're using that dark purple, that direct purple, getting kind of a darker shape in there. And I do like the purple next to the red. It's really pretty. And again, if you're inclined to put this darker color somewhere, go right ahead and do it. This is taking shape nicely, and I've always liked kind of the warm, cool color combo. All right, so now we're moving into that direct blue, another bold color, moving into our cool colors. And you will notice that as you paint more and more, cool colors start to kind of push back and recede, where warm colors kind of jump forward and towards us. And the more that you paint, the more you'll get to kind of play with that concept. But it's a lot of fun because you have to think about it. As an artist, you are really a magician. You are transforming this flat 2D surface into the illusion of a 3D image or scene. So that makes you a magician. All right, so a moment ago, you saw that we switched to a medium blue, and that was white plus blue. And take your progress photos every now and then. Go at your own pace. Now we're moving into a light green, and that is white with green. And my green happens to be a bit on the cool side, meaning that it's kind of a little closer to a blue compared to a warmer green with a little more yellow in there. So yours might look a little different based on the colors that you have. All right, and then now going in with that green, same thing, just kind of filling up those spaces, getting a little bit more on there. Same with the white, going back to the clouds. I'm going right over those traceable lines to get rid of those and filling in any spaces with the white that I might not have gotten a color on and getting something on that canvas. Same thing, can kind of go in with some yellow. And I want you to do anything that you want to do to your background now, then we'll move into the trees. You guys are doing a great job. All right, so pause the video, take your progress photo. It does help if you let your background dry before you move into this step. And we're moving up to a light yellow, and that is white plus, or yellow plus orange. And same thing, making those marks. And I stated it at the beginning of the painting, but if you're starting to get tired or your brush strokes are starting to get sloppy, take a break. This is such a repetitive mark making that you do have to kind of be aware of where your mental place is while you're painting. And also while you're painting, just focus on this mark making and you kind of forget about the rest of your world for a little bit. So with this light orange, We're moving in, we got the ground in there, we're getting that left-hand side of the tree. We'll be coming in with our darker cool colors a little bit later on to kind of give that 3D volume. But this is taking shape nicely. I hope you are enjoying your process. All right, and then moving in with some of that direct orange, same thing, filling in the space, same mark making. And if you get more and more into pointillism, you can apply the paint with various tools. Some people do it with Q-tips. Sometimes you can use the back end of the brush. Sometimes there are special round brushes that you can grab to do it, but just kind of experiment, have fun. All right, so now we're moving into a light green, and that was yellow plus green, kind of filling in the back portion of that hill. Going in with the direct green now, a little bit darker shadow. And like I said earlier, pause the video as many times and as often as you need to. And if you need to, you can even do a screenshot and zoom in if you need to check out another area a little bit closer. All right, so going back to the yellow, we're moving into the foliage on the tree. And we are keeping this yellow kind of on the top and the left-hand side of the foliage of the tree, going right over those traceable lines and even overlapping in some areas on that blue background. So don't feel like you can't allow colors to touch. Overlapping in pointillism is your friend. All right, getting that last bit of that yellow on there. This is looking really, really nice. So proud of you guys. So now going in with a bit more yellow-green, still pretty light. And we're kind of getting that on the foliage of all the trees. We've got 3, 4, 5, 6 trees on there. All right, doing good. And a little bit of brush maintenance. If you're starting to notice that your brush strokes are bigger and bigger and bigger, take a look at your brush. Do you have a lot of buildup on your brush where the bristles meet the metal? If so, wipe it off, clean the brush, grab your pigment again, and then go back to your mark making. And we're just kind of slowly getting more and more green into this mixture, kind of at a medium green with yellow and green. And then we'll be using that direct green. Again, overlapping those, get out of your chair, look at it from a distance, take your progress photos. You guys are doing a great job. And I do hope that you enjoy the pointillism so much that you're actually going to give it a go on another painting, or even just look at one of your own photos and try to recreate that with what you're learning about pointillism. And it's kind of fun because you could look at big chunks of color and go, oh, I see a green, I see a medium green, I see a light green, and then you just kind of overlap them and play with it. So now we're moving into blue, going a little bit darker into that green foliage area. And then we will be taking that blue down the right-hand side of the tree. And this is going to give us a nice kind of pop to where the blue, like I said earlier, kind of pushes back and recedes. And the warm colors, the yellows and the oranges, are kind of moving towards us. And again, on this flat 2D surface, it's kind of nice to see that effect. All right, there we go. Now we're getting it on the tree. Again, just kind of overlapping those dots. I hope you guys are enjoying the process, escaping your world for a little bit and just getting lost in this repetitive movement of dots. And try to keep in mind that most things in art are relatively simple, so try not to overcomplicate any creative project that you get into. Keep it simple. We're just using dots, we're just using simple colors here, but look at what we can create. Already having a nice kind of 3D image come along, and you will notice through your progress photos that as we add more colors and get rid of that white canvas space, just kind of how it changes. So I encourage that you look back at your progress photos often, so that way you can just kind of see your own evolution and your skills grow. So a moment ago that we were using some blue and green to fill in more of the foliage. Now we're moving into red, and this is going to be going in quite a few areas. So again, pause the video to see where I place the red, and again, trust your instincts to put the red where you're inclined to do it, or any of the colors. And the red, even though it is a warm color, it's still kind of dark, so it still gives us that darker contrast and not as much pop as the yellow and the orange. So moving back to the yellow, just filling in some of the spaces on the tree so that way that white canvas isn't showing through. and then using a little bit of black, going back to where the blue is, just to kind of keep it a little bit darker. Again, if you've got some white canvas space showing through, get a color on there. Trust your instincts, or just kind of put the color that's next to it, just put another dot of that. And then going in with some white on the left-hand side of these tree trunks, our last kind of final highlight color, and then doing some medium blue. I kind of forgot about that little tree on the island over there. Some medium blue and then some dark blue, filling in that space. And again, anything that you might want to do to your painting, any areas you need to fill up, like if you notice in your foliage that you need some more yellow and green, go back and add that color and fill in the space. And remember to look at that painting from that distance of 5 feet away, and then go back and add what you need. So thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to get creative. Please do not wait too long to do your next painting. And until then, cheers.